champ of the mic on tonight. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take note, bow down if you can. It's the Brilliant Show with the Brilliant One. He's the man.
Welcome into the Brilliant Show tonight. We got a guest, and we'll talk about it when he gets on here, what he did to me Saturday night and all that. But first, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can catch us live there. But if you can't catch us live, you can always check us out on all podcast platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, and many more. Give us that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast. Also, check us out on Brainbuster Tees. Get you some Brilliant Show merchandise. Get the shirt, get the hat. It's at brainbustertees.com. You'll see the Brilliant Show when it pops up. Also, don't forget thebrilliantshow.com. That's our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it on there. I guess without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Rey Fury. What's going on?
Ain't no way.
I got a question for you, man. I've never done anything wrong to you, never stuck my nose in your business or anything. Why did you curb stomp me through a birthday cake Saturday?
Man, that's how you introduced me to your show. This is the first time I'm on the Brilliant Show, and that's exactly how you introduced me to your audience, huh?
Yeah. Because you disrespected me, and I've never done nothing wrong to you.
The disrespect. Well, for those of you who weren't there, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Rey Fury, and this gentleman over here, he stuck his nose in my business this past weekend, this Saturday night, and he got curb stomped through a birthday cake. And hold on. It looks like you got a little bit of icing right here in your nose, man. Right there. Yeah. You might want to wipe that still. Man, you haven't taken a shower since Saturday, man? What's going on, man? Huh?
Take a shower every day. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I do have a personal message from a fan. It said, tell Rey Fury, I said he's the worst, and squiggles are garbage like tonight.
I don't even understand that, but okay.
Worst and squiggles are trash tonight.
Whoever that is, he obviously haven't tasted any squiggles, but
well, here's my favorite client chiming in. Rey Fury is an awful human being. We already knew that. No, I'm gonna say this, Rey. Been around you, was on my old podcast. I've always been high on you. Great talent, other than what you did Saturday night. But I mean, you've been around for how long? You been around?
I want to say about 8 years. Yeah.
I was going to say it's getting close to a decade there. I mean,
it's getting close.
But let me ask you this: how did you get started? Was you a wrestling fan growing up? Did you have that passion, or did you find it later on? Because you were in New York, right? You're from New York, right?
Yes, I am from New York.
So how did it get started? I mean, is that where you found the love at?
Oh, man. So I'll try to be brief about it. But, man, since I was a baby, since as long as I could remember, I just fell in love with wrestling. And my dad used to watch it growing up. So I guess that was my introduction, I can't tell you what age I started watching wrestling, man. But as young as I can remember, that's when I started. And that's when, I fell in love with it. I got all the wrestling toys. I had the wrestling ring, and it's just something I can never shake, man. During that age in middle school, when you're like 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, and, a few of your friends, they start growing out of wrestling, and they start calling it the F word and all that. For some reason, I couldn't shake it. Man. I never grew out of it. I loved it. I still love it to this day with a passion, man. And I'm glad I could even get a chance to get out there and perform to this day, even though it's been 8 years. So, yeah, definitely grateful for this journey.
Well, that's awesome. Trevor Reed. I hate you, Ray Fury. The video you jumping off the VIP balcony in Biloxi was made with AI. Well, not a fan or not a super fan of Ray Fury, but that wasn't made with AI. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. I
Let me
was
tell
there.
you something. Let me tell you something, man. It's not a normal day if I don't get at least a little bit of hate mail. So
Man,
I get it every single day that I wake up and I log online, man. I get hate mail every single day. So
you, the most likable person in the world, how do you get hate mail?
when you got guys that's steering that ship and encouraging it, such as yourself and Vladimir Koloff and Eddie Torres, smelly Eddie Torres, Nightmare
Had that
Jeremiah,
boot case, by the
Lucha
way.
Lacora, Salazar. I could just keep going and go. Kimber Fox, Asher Andrews, Jonathan Breslin. When I could just keep going and going and going. Wes Warren, I could just keep going, man. But I think you get the picture, man. So
I do. Do you eat peanut butter and jelly the long way?
I don't even know what's the long way because peanut butter and jelly sandwich is square. But I will tell you, I do love Uncrustables, and they're actually round. So there still isn't a long way. But I think Vladimir Koloff, he eats bananas the long way with his eyes wide open.
Where is Maximum Glory, Ray?
Oh man, wow, that's throwback. Max Glory. So Max Glory, for those of you who don't know, was my original tag team partner when I broke into the business, and he wore a mask as well. He was a great man. He was a great tag team partner. He never turned his back on me ever, just unlike some people who called me their brother. But yeah, Maxim Glory, he he had a match with Jeremiah, and he got tied with a metal chain and thrown over the top rope, and he got choked out. And so I think that's where our feud actually started between me and Jeremiah, and it's still going on to this day. So
yeah, that's one feud that won't ever die. And this is Nightmare's last year that he's saying. So we'll see how that goes. What makes you tick as a wrestler and as a person?
What makes me tick as a wrestler? I just what really I don't want to sound like a grizzled vet, but I could be up here all day. There's a few things that make me tick, but what really gets me upset is when fans, I guess those who are not, how should I say this? Think that they're a little bit smarter than what they are, and they think they know more than they probably should, and that kind of gets me upset. And another little pet peeve of mine is when guys don't wipe their feet before they get in the ring.
Oh my gosh, really? Wiping the feet before they get in the ring?
Hey, respect the mat, okay? Your feet been walking all over the earth. Please respect the mat.
Hey, Ray Rules went and got me a frozen coat. Look at that. Look at that. You jumping off the balcony was awesome. We're gonna get back into some stuff. We're just getting a lot of messages right now. Is it true that Kobe always has quarters for the buggies at Aldi's?
For the what at Aldi's? The buggies?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. He walks around with change in his pocket.
I bet he's paid for some other stuff with quarters too. Sippy out of surgery. Glad you made it home, man. Let's see. Brett Ian Landry gonna tune in. Ray is one of the most all-around talented athletes I've ever had the pleasure of watching or working with. Meanwhile, Brandon Turner is the exact opposite. Hey, Brett, let me just say this, man. You got a little brown on your lips.
No, he doesn't.
Look,
he doesn't.
Wipe it off.
That's my guy. I've known him for years as well, man. I appreciate you, Brett.
Rey Fury sold me some Yeet socks. Murdo Brown. Oh, Murdo, you always come through, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely. F-bomb socks.
It's because you're an awful human being, as Vladimir Call says. Let's see what Dave Miller, one of the best refs on the independent scene. Somebody, Humpty Dumpty had asked, and I'll get to this. I'll get to his question, but what? He ate the banana and made eye contact with Brandon. Dave, I thought you was going to be nice. I'm getting you off there. Sam Humpty Dumpty asked, what's your thoughts on facing RJW this weekend?
My thoughts on facing RJW. Look, RJW, man, I've been around since his beginning. All right. We started training around the same time, around the same promotion, in the same ring. So I've seen him from the beginning all the way to now. And I've seen him grow so much, and I'm very proud of him. And we still talk to this day. We always keep in touch. You know, he even gave me some deer sausage. Pause. It was great. But you know, this is the BIW tournament, and you know, as you know, I love gold. I look good with gold, and all I know is winning. So if he's in my way and I got to step over him and drop an F-bomb to keep advancing in this tournament, I'm sorry, RJW. We continue our friendship outside of the ring, but business is business.
Yeah, the Down on the Bayou tournament, one of the most prestigious tournaments set up, and man, BIW's really killing it with that. Chris Phillips says, Brandon, don't let this dude feed you this fish and spaghetti trash. Oh, Chris, man.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Joey. You know we born ready like fish and spaghetti.
Oh, man. But yeah, the Down on the Bayou tournament, dude, is going to be one of the most prestigious tournaments in independent wrestling, along with, like, you know, the Great Southern 8 that you've been in. And I mean, you won the Great Southern 8, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you win the Great Southern 8, you win Down on the Bayou tournament, dude. I mean, that's just added. If you can get there, you got to go through RJW, and RJW is not an easy task. I mean, that's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and I'm not looking over him at all. So, you know, with all due respect, it's going to be a fair match, and I look forward to stepping in the ring with him because we've never even touched before. So,
you're one of the best mass wrestlers on the coast, right behind Vladimir Koloff and the Matador. Oh my God,
the Matador!
Oh man! Well,
oh man!
What's up, Steven? But yeah, I mean, like, you know, you got your start. Now, where did you start training at? And, like, how did you find the training school you went to?
So I started training. Yes, sir. Absolutely, he is. So I started training at a promotion in Mississippi called Pro Wrestling Ego. I got in touch with them. I got involved with them. At the time, they had no one who looked like me, no one, you know, tan, my height, my build. And they was like, hey, man, come on. We could add you to the roster. And so I just began training with them. And I was just learning how to, you know, take bumps, hit the ropes, locking up, et cetera, and, you know, the fundamentals. And then I was thrown in a tag team and I was given this mask. So, yeah, that was the genesis. That was the beginning of my wrestling career there.
Man, that is awesome. Brandon Atkins says, cheers in the game myself. I've seen you a lot. Haven't shared the locker room with you yet. I'm sure we will hit me up if you're in the Georgia zone. So
yes, sir. I'll be in Georgia, matter of fact, in June. Yeah.
John Landry, we're looking forward to seeing you in Louisiana. It's going to be our first time seeing you. Where at in Louisiana? Is it going to be at the BIW this weekend? Because that's going to be a hell of a show this coming weekend, man. Like
this weekend, yeah, it'll be Brookhaven, Mississippi.
Yeah. Oh, it's Brookhaven. Yeah, you got Steve Anthony and Rob Love in a dog collar match. You got the Down on the Bayou tournament continuing.
Yes, sir.
And you got so much other stuff that is going to be going on this weekend. It's going to be an unbelievable weekend, so not going to want to miss it. Let's see what else. Newt says, Ray, you work at least once for IWA Mid-South. How was Ian Rotten?
Oh, man, Ian Rotten was great, man. Ian Rotten was great. It was great to just listen to him and hear what he had to say to myself and the boys in the locker room. So it was definitely an experience there. And it was definitely great to work in that historic building in Indiana where a lot of guys came and wrestled. A lot of guys from Ring of Honor, and a few guys who were wrestling for WWE and AEW at the moment. So it was great to just be able to wrestle in a building like that had so much history. And that night, actually, I ended up taking on Jake Christ. That's I'm not sure if he's still a part of TNA or not, but
I think he still does some work with them.
okay,
But
yeah.
But he's out of Ohio, and he's just killing. He's killed it. He's one of the best in the ring. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, he's so good, so good.
Chris Chambers says, Ray, past or present, dead or alive, what is your ultimate dream opponent?
Oh man, ultimate dream opponent. You know, the first one who came into my mind was RVD. I'm a huge RVD fan. Don't know if any of you guys can tell, but yeah, I love RVD. And then right behind that would have been probably Scott Hall. I'm a huge Scott Hall fan.
Yeah, man, Scott Hall, just one of those guys that just changed it. And then RVD, man, was just absolutely great. Willie Buck tuning in. Willie Buck.
Willie Buck.
It's the Ultimate Warrior and Rob Van Dam there. I mean, you got the look and the move set, yes, but I didn't hear him mention that the Ultimate Warrior is one of his favorites. Was Warrior one of your favorites?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He was my first favorite wrestler. He's the reason why I loved professional wrestling when I started watching. Man, he was like a real life cartoon character. You know,
really, he really was. I mean, you know, back in the '80s and the early '90s, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, all them. It was basically a comic book in a wrestling ring. Is what it was.
Exactly.
It was great.
So I try to pay a little homage with the tassels, you know.
Oh yeah. Pro Wrestling Ego was the Shakara of the South. Jay Andrews had a very creative mind. What's your thoughts on Jay Andrews?
Oh, I love Jay Andrews, man. If he's watching, Jay, you know I love you. I feel like he's like my pro wrestling godfather. I feel like he gave me life. He's the one who gave me the opportunity, and even letting me train and break into the business. He even gave me the ball to run with it. So I'm forever grateful to Jay Andrews and Chuck Lauderdale as well, for sure. And it doesn't even stop there. You know, Shaky McMullen, you know, JD Jenkins, you know, it's just the whole crew there that I broke in with. They shaped and they molded me a lot.
Luke Bates, that cake tasted nasty. And that's what it tasted like. It tasted nasty. You got Suge White debuting in BIW. Oh, Suge, man. Now that's somebody. That's who Rey Fury needs to take on, Suge White. What you think of Suge, baby?
What I think of Suge, Suge's that's a big man. It's a big man. But you know, it don't matter. Big, small, yellow, white, blue, green. They all fall after one F-bomb, one froggy elbow, because that's all it ever takes.
Let's see here. Hey, yo. Well, yeah, Scott Hall, man. Scott Hall is just legendary. All right. So when you first broke in, you said, you know, you was under the mask. But didn't you have like a dark side to you as well? When you first kind of broke in?
So when I broke in, my name was Dark Fury. And so me and my tag team partner, Max Glory, he had a white and blue mask, and mine was black and red. So I wore black and red. He was white and blue. So we were kind of the yin and the yang to each other. You know what I mean? So and we kind of embraced that there. And I was the little more aggressive one, and he was the more, you know, charismatic one, so to speak. You know. So yeah, as Dark Fury, you know, I was in the tag team, and then once, you know, Max Glory went on to you know, to greener pastures, so to speak, or getting killed off by the Nightmare, I became Rey Fury. But then later on, I tapped back into that dark side, and I don't know if you want to get into that, but.
Well, apparently Jarrett McKenzie does, because he's saying open up that dark side on Lucha after what happened Saturday night at Combat Sports Pro. I mean, it was y'all's birthday beat down, and boy, you took a beat down, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this weekend for the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time now. Stupid me, silly Rey Fury. Trust Lucha Lacora. It's supposed to be my brother, it's supposed to be my day one, supposed to be my compadre here, and he turns his back on me. Petty foolishness, and I'm not gonna lie, he whipped my ass, and he put me through some chairs. He gave me a few licks to the back with some chairs, and he just stomped the mud hole in me, and I'm feeling it today. Every time I jump in the shower, I'm finding new bruises, new scrapes, new gashes on my body that I haven't seen before. So, Lucha's time is coming, and I'm licking my wounds until I get my hands on him again.
Stephen Dixon asked, what cannonball you received? Which one was your favorite from Vladimir Koloff?
Who? Vladimir who?
Okay. That's my client.
Vladimir who?
Koloff, the greatest independent wrestler alive today.
You talking about that guy who wears a pamper? Huh? The guy that you walk out the ring with?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't remember taking any cannonballs from him. But I'm pretty sure he remembers taking this F-bomb plenty of times.
See it, Pro Wrestling Action All-Star Champion Rey Fury in action July the 20th at the historic Sanford Civic Center in Sanford, Florida at Pro Wrestling Action All-Star Battle Volume 5. Check that out. Man, Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Action. What's that like? And because I've been seeing their flyers. They got some pretty tight flyers, man. It's like
absolutely, man.
Comic book style flyers.
Man, look, Pro Wrestling Action is probably one of the most funnest promotions I've been a part of. And I'm not saying that because I am the Pro Wrestling Action All-Star Champion, but you go there, man, there's nothing but is larger than life characters there. From match 1 to match 5 or 6 is any match can main event, and it's nothing but characters, fun, and entertainment. And our big show of the year, All-Star Battle Volume 5, is going to be actually in July 20th, where I defend this against Smelly Eddie Torres, Saeed Vasaba, and Izzy Vaden.
Wow, that's a lineup right there. If you're definitely in the area, you're going to want to be there for that show. That's sounds like it's going to be an all-star match. Yeah. No pun intended on the name, but it's going to be all-star. Ray, were you WWF or WCW?
Oh man, so look, so I was a WWF guy, and I was afraid that WWF was going to go out of business, so I wouldn't even watch WCW. Okay, that's how young I was. I was naive. I didn't understand, but I was such a diehard WWF fan. I didn't want them to go out of business, and so I just did not even turn to WCW. Now, in hindsight, looking back, I wish I did because I feel like I missed out on a lot of wrestling. But I did go back and watch, all the 90s wrestling that I feel like I didn't get a chance to really experience. So, yeah.
Awesome. Newt says, didn't you win your first singles title off Nightmare?
That is incorrect. My first singles title that I've ever won was the Pro Wrestling Eagles Styles title. And that had white leather, and I actually beat Paul Riot for that title. And I actually sprained my ankle in that match, and that is the first match that I ever used a froggy elbow as a finisher. So talk about sprained ankle mid-match, first time using a froggy elbow to win my first singles championship. I'll never forget that night.
Man, that's wild. Paul Riot? Man.
Absolutely.
Man, that's another great dude. Paul's great. Puts on great shows as well. I'll start another great promotion where you were the first champion, if I'm not mistaken, and had a good run at it then until Vladimir Koloff won it. But 2 claps and a yeet. You ain't never lied. That's Thomas Brooks. I think we know who that is.
Yeah. My boy, look, hey, hey, Brandon, can I get 2 claps and a?
Yeah. Hey, while we're on the yeet yeet part,
Four
how do
letters.
you feel about
One
the yeet?
word. Fury. Huh?
I said, while we're on the yeet, why don't you tell me how you feel about the yeet?
Oh man, you know, I've been waiting for you to ask the hard-hitting questions instead of reading these comments. All right, I've been waiting for you because I got a lot to say and I got a lot to get off my chest, and I think that's what everybody's waiting for, Brandon.
Yeah, they
So,
are. They
excuse
are.
me, if you're the brilliant one, you need to act like you got some brains, and please give me the hard-hitting questions. All right, because I got a lot to say. So, where you want me to start, Mister Brandon?
Well, this is where I want you to start at. Is that I've been around almost 8 years, 9 years too, doing
Uh-huh.
the podcast,
Uh-huh.
moving in,
Uh-huh.
and I've always remembered 2 claps and a yeet yeet from Rey Fury. Ain't
That's all
no
you need.
way.
Ain't no way.
And then all of a sudden, here we go with, Jey Uso starts using it, and the next thing you know, it's over like Rover right now. So
Let me tell you something, Brandon. Let me tell you something because I already vented it. I already vented so many times to all my friends. All right, I'm already tired. I'm turning blue in the face. How many times I got to repeat this? But because I get fired up pretty easily about this, and I'm trying to let it go. All right, but this just proves. This just proves that I had $1 million sitting right here in my lap. Okay. To all those out there, in case you were doubting me ever, understand you had a gold mine right here. No pun intended with this title. I always knew, Brandon, that if I can just get that in front of 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 people, right? On a big enough show, it's going to be over. Because I do it in front of 300, 400, 500, 600 people, and it's over immediately. People who never seen me before. So it doesn't surprise me when this gentleman, I'm not going to say his name, he goes ahead and says it with millions of viewers in front of thousands of people, and boom, immediately catches fire because he's been the same wrestler for years. He's never been this hot. So what changed? That one word changed.
Yep.
That's all that changed. That's it. And I know what it feels like because I sold hundreds of dollars of merch using this. All right. I've gotten over in many, many, many billions using buildings using that word. So I understand. I know exactly how he feels. You know, he's hot for a reason, and it's not because of him. But it is what it is. It gets me upset. I never trademarked it. I never had any rights to it. So, I feel a little foolish getting upset about it in the first place. But, it just sucks to feel like somebody just beat you to the punch. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I heard this another gentleman up there, I think in West Virginia, he trademarked it. But this guy, I don't even know. He used it. I mean, he wrestles maybe once a month. He one of the local guys up there.
I don't even know if he wrestled once a month.
Yeah,
I was looking it up. I think it was like, it was very periodically. It wasn't like he was
right. It's not like he's hitting the roads and getting it out there like I was. Is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, the point is, like, he was using it. He had a trademark, and I guess from what I hear, he got a little settlement for it. I heard it wasn't much, but it is what it is. That's besides the point. But yeah. Well, we ain't gonna let that stop us.
No. Well, here's the thing, and I'll say this about you. I'll say some good things about you. You've always marketed yourself very well. And I've always thought, if you got in front of the audience as well, I thought, that would just take off because you did. You had everything that went with it. I thought you always had the X factor. You know who the guys are, I think, that are great. And I think we have a lot of great talent in the South. And I think a lot of it gets overlooked. I don't think there's enough eyes down here. And sometimes that's like I tell people all the time, and a lot of people are going to get at me on this one. And Erica, you're right. I got to business. But because she says, tell this man to get the business. I'm getting the business. But but here's my thing is, I don't always think, all right, this is going to piss people off. I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. It's not about talent. It's about who you know. And at the end of the day, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that contact to get you through that door, that puts you up there, you don't get. Because I see better talent in BIW, in other promotions around here that we go to and see, Lost Ark, Gulf Coast, all these, and ain't none of them on TV. But you got some of these guys that are on TV, and they're there because they know somebody, and
Right.
that's basically it. It has nothing to do with the talent.
And man, it is about who you know. And I don't want to, gear off into to a whole nother lane here, but that's why I feel like when guys don't have that person they know, they don't have that connection, they go out and do silly things like trying to be viral, try to go viral. So like, well, if I don't have anybody who's going to create a lane for me, well, I'm going to try to create a lane for myself, and then that's when the vets talk bad about guys just trying to be viral and not sticking to this and not sticking to that and just going into business for themselves. But I get it. I get there's two sides to it. So, and hey, man, I'm not gonna say any names, but there's a wrestling agent behind one of the big machines, and we asked him, say, hey, man, how do you get noticed? How do you get signed? What do we do to get here? And you know what he said?
What's that?
Create a buzz.
Yeah.
Create a buzz. Make us see you. You understand? So that's why when you see guys, doing these crazy things, jumping off buildings or breaking their back in 6 places, or putting syringes through their cheeks, or just doing anything silly just to go viral and get those thousands of views, I think that's where it kind of stems from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't want to go off into a whole nother different conversation.
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. I do agree with you. It's all about who you know. That's it.
It really is. Leo Wright says he's been watching you since he was 10 to 12 years old. That I guess that was last year. But I'm just joking, Leo.
Hey.
But anyway, and a lot of people say, you were saying Yeet first. I mean, look, we all know Jay is from that area. He's from the Pensacola, Florida area. It's not like he didn't know who Rey Fury was, in my opinion. And the thing is like this.
I don't know.
What happened was him and Cody had that press conference and got a little tipsy on it, and he let his inner Rey Fury out. He said, "Yeet." But like, man, I've always said this. You were, like I said, great marketer. Look, Frankie Thomas shaking his head. Oh, Frankie. Let's see, Ray. The way you do it comes way more natural. You're better at doing the yeet. Well, of course he is. That's all you've seen. Tim said, "What up, Ray?"
What up, Tim? What up, Tim?
Let's see here. Rey Fury had bath bombs for sale for a bit. Did you?
Oh man, Brandon, I had everything for sale at one point, man.
I remember when I looked at your merch table a long time ago. I was like, I thought I could have bought some Rey Fury Tic Tacs at one point.
I had socks, I had bath bombs, I had pins, I had watches, I had Yeet watches. Okay, yeah, I had Yeet watches. I had action.
You had an action figure too, didn't you?
I had action figures in the box. I had 7-inch plus dolls, 10-inch plus dolls. I had 22-inch plus dolls, and I had 40-inch plus dolls. These things were huge. Okay, I kind of wish I kept one and just just for me, but yeah, man, I had so much before. Man, I had tattoos. Anything I could make money on, I made merch on.
He should have a job. You're right. I mean, and Frankie, you did say that on the podcast. He should have a job. He should be at the big times. There's a lot of people, like I said, around here that should be there. Ray has been doing it on a high level for a long time, and
I appreciate you, Frankie,
and respect that. And Frankie, another great talent himself. Ray, I agree with you there, my buddies. That's Willie Buck. Trying to catch up on some of these comments before we move on a little bit. I may own more Rey Fury shirts than anyone. The OG ones.
It's my
Joey
boy.
Booster. Video circulating on Facebook of you jumping off the balcony in the fall. Yeah, that was incredible. Let me ask you this, because that venue, the Sanctuary in Biloxi, is, it's a nice little venue,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. But when I saw you come off that top, man, because I was right there, what was you thinking? Like, what was going through your head?
Man, honestly, I was kind of out of it for a minute. I had to gather myself, but I look down and I see these two behemoths down there. I see these two bagel heads, Vladimir Koloff and Jeremiah Nightmare. So I'm like, hey, man, the adrenaline's running through my veins. I'm already fired up. I'm like, man, I got to do something. I'm going to put these two big guys down. And so I just went for it. I didn't even climb on top of the ledge. I didn't even I didn't climb on top of a chair, nothing. I just said, hey, man, F it. I'm going over. And I just jumped right over it and wished for the best.
I mean, it was just like, boom. And I was just like, wow. And the place was going crazy. The barricades got through into the ring. Somehow Jeremiah ended up going through because he was fisting to power bomb you onto him, and you was able to reverse it and put him through the barricades, which was just absolutely, it was gnarly.
Bended the barricades and we put holes in the ring. So insane, man, insane.
You destroyed it. Everything was great. The match was good, other than me getting curb stomped into the cake. Other than that, everything was good. But you had a very eventful weekend, though. You back-to-back shows. Kind of give the listeners and the watchers a little bit of what it's like being on the road all the time. Because when it comes time for pro wrestling weekends, and me and you was on both shows, so we both did a lot of traveling this weekend. Just kind of give me your thoughts on that.
Man, listen, man. For those who don't know, man, being on the road is tough. Literally, I feel like I just pack, wrestle, come back home, shower, change, laundry, pack again. I feel like that's my life, man. It's some weekends are tougher than others. Anytime I can get in the car with somebody else's, I feel like it's a blessing. Anytime I can sleep in my own bed the same night, I feel like it's a blessing. But being on the road, man, I like having that alone time. Me personally, I get to sit there with my thoughts and think about things and catch up on my wrestling, on my podcast. So I like that alone time in the car. But it takes a toll on you as well. And we travel sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours just to wrestle, just so we can give the people a glimpse of us just for 15 to 20 minutes. That's essentially what it is. And then in hopes that we have a great match and we connect with the audience and we leave a lasting impression and we can get footage just so we can put it online the next day. So a lot goes into it. It's to me, it's like a job. It's not just a vacation. It's not a hobby. Not knocking anyone who does take it as a hobby, but I take it very serious, man. Wrestling is my life.
Well, there's no doubt you take it serious. I'll vouch for that because, I mean, you're one of the first people there. You're always setting your merch up. You're getting everything going. You give it all to your fans. When they're there, it's, because I could give two rats' asses about fans, whether they come to see me or not. But, you care, and you're there every picture, every step of the way, and it's great. Christopher Carr, what do you mean I deserve the curb stomp? Why do I deserve it? And Trevor Reed, how about the random fan that tried to run the ropes during the intermission contest? Yeah, I heard he had a little accident there and almost flipped out or something when he was dancing around in the ring. So Who's your Mount Rushmore, your toughest opponents?
Mount Rushmore, the toughest opponents. I was just talking about this guy today. He's one of the guys who I give a hand into what goes into went into my wrestling training, and this is John Davis. For those of you who don't know who John Davis is, You better look him up. He was a part of Ring of Honor in the mid 2000s. He chops harder than anybody I've ever been in the ring with. He's tough as nails, and he's probably one of the toughest guys I've ever been in the ring with. Mil Muertes, he's part of Lucha Underground. He's a luchador out of Mexico. He's probably one of the strongest guys I've ever been in the ring with. He has some freakishly, he has a freakish strength that I did not expect to come out of that man. So definitely Mil Muertes. I'm gonna say Lucha Lacora is probably one of the toughest guys I've ever faced. No matter how long I've known him, we always go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's always an even matchup. That guy, we can go tit for tat all day long. So, I'm going to have to throw in Lucha's name in there. And, man, Mount Rushmore of toughest opponents.
Well, Sing Pet says Cardi B. And then Sing Pet said Dark City Fight Club.
Yep. Dark City Fight Club with tag team John Davis was a part of, him and Corey Chavis. That's right. But the fourth one, man, would probably be Zane Stevens, BTY. Shout out to Zane, man. And Zane could bring it as well.
Yeah, Zane always brings it. Let's see here. Besides Vladimir Kulov, who are some of your favorite mass superstars? We know Vladimir Kulov is number one. So
first and foremost, that is not one of my favorite wrestlers. All right. Let's get that out. Let's get that out the way. Can't stand Vladimir Kulov. He got a big ass pamper on. But what was the question? One of my favorite Smash wrestlers?
Yeah.
Big fan of Psychosis. Any of you who watch Lucha Underground, I loved King Cuerno. He was actually, now his name is what's this guy's name?
Escobar. Santos
Escobar. That's right. King Cuerno was amazing. Oh, Prince Puma. Huge Prince Puma fan. I'm a bigger Prince Puma fan than I am Ricochet. Let's get that out there.
Prince Puma was I was a better Kill Shot fan than Swerve.
Oh man, Kill Shot was amazing too, man. Oh my god. Huge Prince Puma fan. Kill Shot was awesome. Yeah, King Cuerno. A lot of Lucha guys I loved came from Lucha Underground. But yeah, Psychosis.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You bring up Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground to me was one of my favorite things to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
I would have chose watching Lucha Underground over WWE or AEW any day of the week.
Oh man, absolutely.
Kill Shot to me, that was his shining moment. And I like Swerve, don't get me wrong, but I just think Kill Shot, that was the moment for me. And Pentagon and Vampiro having the master and the student deal, some of the greatest moments. I just love the theatrics and the athletic ability of Lucha Underground. There will never be another one. You can't go back and repeat that first two seasons. Brian Cage killing it. I mean, you had so much stuff going on in Lucha Underground. Johnny Mundo, Dario Cueto. Man, that was just it all came together. They even killed somebody on the show. So I was always a big fan of Lucha Underground. I could watch it all day long.
Wow.
I do want to ask you this. You go ahead first, and then I'll get there.
Simon Phillips, I see he's in the comments talking spicy. Simon, we just had a ladder match this Friday, and I ain't see you nowhere. I mixed it up with Frankie. I mixed it up with Vlad.
I was even in there.
Yeah. You was in there, mixed it up with Wes Warren. You ain't even touch me, homeboy. So don't be talking spicy now.
Oh, wait a minute. Simon Phillips also did a dive off of a balcony. As a matter of fact, it's going to debut on the Brilliant Show tomorrow night. I got a good clip of it. I'm going to put it on the Brilliant Show or the Facebook page tomorrow. But you did the dive. He's done the dive. I don't know how y'all do that, man. And are able, like, go to town after that. It's just it's unreal.
Look, man, I'm paying for today, man. When I tell you that I'm in pain, I'm just walking around. You can see me. I'm hurting. I'm licking my wounds. I gotta go step out in a second. Go get a heating pad. Um, I'm still going to the gym tonight. Been putting ice on the back of my neck for the past 2 days. Yeah, I'm pretty beat up, man. But jinx, knock on wood. To the grace of God, I have never had any major injuries, and and I'm very thankful for that.
Nick Wonder says, "Yo, do you have any plans of going to Mexico and to work for CMLL?"
I'd rather not comment on that. I don't want nobody blocking blessings, but I got some stuff cooking up. Might not necessarily be Mexico, but it is a major promotion in Mexico, and they work outside in the US as well as Mexico. But we're gonna keep that under wraps until it's official. But
Well, let's show this one. You were ducking me. That's what Simon Phillips says.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. I ain't hard to find. 2 times because I ain't never lie.
Yeet. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Hey, man.
Tell him, Ray. That's what Joey Booster says.
Tell him we ain't hard to find.
Well, hold on. Ray got to recover. I'm ready to make the jump again right now. All right. Look at it this way. Simon Phillips cooking up some fish and spaghetti.
Hey, Brandon, we born ready like fish and spaghetti.
Fish and spaghetti, yeah.
If I'm not your favorite, I want to know why. 2 times, because I ain't never lie. Now, can I get 2 claps and a yeet?
Oh, man.
I had to get it out of my system one time. One time for the one time.
Oh, Sammy Wright now throwing out something. When are we going to have that singles match?
Man, Sammy. Oh, man. I love you, Sammy. I don't want to kill you, man. I love you. Well, I got to drop an elbow on your chest for, man. I got nothing but love for you, Sam.
That would be an exciting match, though. So, who's it for you, Ray? Brett or Sean?
I was always a Shawn guy. Let me tell you something, Brandon. Let me tell you something. He was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, Shawn Michaels. 90 Shawn, all right, with the tight pants.
Yes.
The
90 Shawn. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. The 90 Shawn before he turned face in 95.
No, 90 Shawn throughout when he started his singles run. He got with DX and he was on top of the world.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, that was a great one. I've always been a Shawn Michaels fan.
That's my Shawn. 2 times because I ain't never lied. But let me tell you something. As I've gotten older, all right, and as I has matured as a professional wrestler, I feel like I'm becoming a Bret Hart fan, and I don't know how this is happening. I don't even recognize myself anymore, man. I'm watching Bret matches and I'm learning so much, and I'm like, man, Bret was really that damn good, and I don't know, it's crazy, man. It just kind of snuck up on me, but no, Bret, I'm becoming a Bret Hart fan now later in my life than I was when I was younger, but I don't know if that comes with just being wise and gaining more wisdom or whatnot, but yeah, Bret Hart, man. Oh, man.
Eric Christopher. Yuck, not Rey Fury.
Hey, Erica.
Oh, that's good.
You see that? You see what those side plates say? Huh? Your client, smelly bagel head, big toe Eddie Torres is never getting this back.
Oh, man. So
I told you I get hate mail every day. It's coming from every direction. I told you that, man.
You did, and you talked about Eddie just a little bit, and
yeah.
I've seen a lot of the stuff that's been going on Facebook with you and him. Where did things go wrong here? I mean, like,
well, for those of you not keeping score, Eddie Torres, when I came to Pro Wrestling Action, he was my first opponent, and he beat me. He beat me in my debut. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, listen. No shame and lose to Eddie Torres. I praised him at the time, and I told him he was one of the best wrestlers in Florida. Absolutely, no doubt about it. I give him his flowers. I give guys their flowers when it's due. But as time kept going, and I've continued to climb that mountain, that pro wrestling action, and I started getting wins, and gaining more confidence. He was right on my tail, and he just kept screwing me every time I got closer and closer to this title. And so when I finally beat him for this at Monster Mash in October, and he decided to bring his bagel head back into the picture and attack me last show, and now here we are. So now he got something. I got something for him as soon as I see him, July 20th at All Star Battle Volume 5.
You know, Ray, I was going to think of something. You know how I progressed my way.
It's too hard, all right?
But you know, I progressed my way through wrestling. Had the podcast, which you was on many years ago. I went from that to doing reffing, to being a manager, to owning a company, to where we're at now. And you've been every step of the way with me. I mean, we've been there. Do you remember the match that I ref for you that you had with a guy by the name of Richard Holiday?
Yeah. Vaguely, but yes, I do remember that match. That was in Brookhaven. Was it?
No, Natchez.
Natchez, Mississippi.
Yes, you've been in the ring with some pretty big names over the years that you've been around. Who was one of your favorites, though?
Man, one of my favorites.
Because you was in there with Matt Taven, wasn't you?
I was in there with Matt Taven. Yep, he tried to disrespect me in front of my kids. I had to whoop his ass.
We're gonna get to him in a minute.
I think one of the names that really stand out to me, I think, was Caleb Conley. For those who don't know, Caleb Conley had a stint in Impact Wrestling, and when it comes to timing, strength, and just being in ring worker, he was there, man. He really surprised me. He was there. He's a pro's pro, and I think we battled 3 times, and every time was just money every single time. So yeah, shout out to Caleb Conley with a K.
Well, Caleb was also an NWA, and he was on the tapings that I was at in Atlanta.
Okay.
Right before COVID happened, when I was over there, and if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong. He took on Matt Cross and Zicky Dice in a triple threat, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Zicky Dice ended up winning the TV title that night. That was an incredible match. Matt Cross, another guy that I don't think gets enough credit. He was Son of Havoc in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
He killed it. He was M-Dog 420 in like XPW, and he did all the stuff like that. He's been around forever, and he's another great guy that's in the ring with as well. Ain't no way. Let's bring up this guy right here.
Who's that?
Monty Warbucks. Always a pleasure to be in the ring and work with you, sir. But Monty, to me, one of the best minds in wrestling. Enjoy just listening when he starts talking. Man, what's your thoughts on Monty? Because I know you've been around Monty a lot too.
Monty Warbucks, man. I love Monty Warbucks. I can't speak any more highly of the man. He's been there since the beginning of my career as well, and he supported me a lot throughout my wrestling career. And anytime I'm successful, and I always got to think about my roots and where I come from and where I started, I always think about guys like Monty Warbucks. People like that keep me grounded as well. And he's a hell of a talent, man, and he's got a hell of a mouthpiece on him, man. And those of you who have never seen Monty Warbucks, this man can move for his size. So always been a fan of big guys who can move growing up. So yeah, shout out to Monty.
Monty's great. I think, you said Monty was there from the start of your career. I think Monty was there when George Hackensmith started his career too. So, yeah. I mean, Monty's been around for a lot of people starting a career, but you talk about big men that can move. Monty being one of them, but Monty's also very entertaining. He's got every aspect in the business that you need. But
Super.
Angel Camacho is also another big guy that can move for his size. And man, Angel's just one of my favorites. Angel loves big guys. I think Erica's saying that again.
You mad that Eddie Torres ain't a big guy? He looked like my big toe though.
But Ray, like, because like you said, you've been around for 8 years. You've had some incredible matches, some incredible moments. I mean, it's just like, every time you turn around, Rey Fury's doing this, Rey Fury's doing that. What is your end goal? Like, have you've had a tryout with WWE? You've been into done some extra stuff with other companies as well, correct?
Yeah, I never had a tryout with WWE. I've been behind the doors to a few big companies. So yeah, the end goal is obviously to be a part of one of these huge companies with that this can be your primary source of income when you can make a living wrestling, correct? That I think that's
Yes.
the end goal for everybody. So yeah, that is the end goal for me. I definitely want to be a part of I definitely want to be signed somewhere. If I feel like that window has closed for me, I would probably take this mask off and I wouldn't wrestle anymore. Just keeping it plain black and white. I don't want to take a spot on a call from anybody at all. If I wake up one day and I say, you know what, this is never gonna shake out. I'll never be on TV. I'll never have a contract. Then I'd rather just call it a day. As much as I love it, but so the day I stop wrestling is the day I feel like my window has closed. So
Well, I don't think we're close to that. I don't. Jason says that Eagle Mania Meridian was always fun.
Eagle Mania. Yep, that was a huge show out there in Meridian, Mississippi, and first thing I think about is seeing us on a billboard.
Yeah, it really was because I live in Meridian and I was driving down Highway 39 North and on the big sign up front and center, Mr. Rey Fury, right there, front and center on that. Sing Pet, another troublemaker. What's your thoughts on Sing Pet? Yeet. Here.
Look, man, like what I told you at the beginning of this live, I told you that I got hate mail every single day. And he's one of those guys to the long list that's going to send me my hate mail daily to remind me that,
Oh yeah, you did some run-ins with NWA. How did that work?
Yeah, NWA, man. NWA. I love NWA. I love most of the guys who work in there. I know most of them. My time there was awesome, and it came like unconventional. Not like I feel like everybody else gets spots behind the company. It came from just me working a few shows with a few of the guys, and they're like, "Man, you belong here with us, man. Let's get you in." And that's exactly what happened. And they brought me in. I had a non-televised match. It was an internet special match, like an internet kind of. It was a match just for the internet, for just a social media presence, and it was against Joe Alonzo. We killed it. We had about a 10-minute match, and it was awesome. Then I returned back, and I had a match with Joe Alonzo again and Luke Curtis, in a triple threat match, and I feel like I shined in that triple threat match. I feel like I did my thing. I really got over with the crowd, and they were chanting "Yeet" before I even got a chance to say anything. I got in the ring and they was chanting "Yeet, yeet, yeet, yeet," and that right there just touched my soul because I'm like, man, yeah, they got me. You know what I mean? Like, if I shit the bed, I'm like, at least I'm over with the fans. But yeah, I thought I had a great showing in that triple threat match, and I know they was building a junior division. I don't consider myself a junior, but they was building a junior division from what I was told, and I felt like I would have been perfect for that because they had no one there who looked like me, no one with a mask. So I'm like, I gotta be a sure fit. I gotta be coming back soon. But yeah, that was my last time there for a while, until recently we got back in contact. So, yeah, it was fun. It was fun working for the NWA. Absolutely.
Yeah, NWA. Check them out because they're a fun promotion to watch. And he is the king of the merch table. We know that. I mean, like this dude, no joke. Like I can remember coming into the building, and there would be tables set up, but no table stood out more than Rey Fury at the time because he had everything. It looked like its own mini store. You walk in, here is Rey Fury posters promoting himself from the second you walk in the door. You can see Rey Fury, and he had everything set up. And then the next thing I knew, everybody was at that table and they were trying to buy there. It's like I said. I said this earlier, Jason. He markets himself so well that you couldn't miss him.
I try. I try, man. I try.
And you have a lot of people that believe in you too.
Yeah,
Even the people that dislike you still believe in you, right?
man, I just try to do the right thing, and I don't want to sound cheesy at all, but I just try to do the right thing from every standpoint, every perspective, to make sure I give myself the best shot to do whatever to make the most merch money, to get the bookings that I want, to stand out, whether it's in the ring. I just try to do everything the right ways, and hopefully it all clicks, and then it comes back. So um yeah, I think that's why I've been such a baby face for so long as well, because it's a mindset. It's not a character I'm playing. It's really me. This is who I am. So yeah, always trying to do the right thing in and out of the ring.
Ray, you're gonna be at Bizarro Wrestling and River City Wrestling. I want to get to River City Wrestling.
Oh man, yes, yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. River City WrestleCon, my birthday weekend. My birthday is actually June 9th. So that's on a Monday. But this weekend, I have Friday, I'm going to be in Panama City for Bizarro Wrestling. Saturday, I'm going to be in Brookhaven, Mississippi for Bayou Independent Wrestling. Going to be attempting to advance in this tournament. And then Sunday, I got to travel to Jacksonville, Florida, St. Augustine, excuse me, for River City WrestleCon. I'm there every single year, and it's special to be there on my birthday weekend and wrestle and get to see and meet all these Hall of Famers and these legends. So definitely appreciative and grateful for that experience.
Well, the King of Wrestling podcast was at a River City Wrestling Con
Yeah.
a few years ago, and it's a great atmosphere. If you get a chance to go to this thing, you do not want to miss out because it is
Rick
one
Flair's
of the
gonna be
funnest times of the year. Yes, every year's fun, and you never know who's going to be there. Like you're going to see the biggest names ever. You're going to get good wrestling action. It's always a fun deal, and I can't wait till I can get back down there. I hadn't been able to go the last couple of years, but I definitely want to get back down there.
Oh, yeah. And selling
Yeet boxes to my 8-year-old at the same.
Hey man,
What's a yeet box now? What's a yeet box?
I forgot about that. I got pictures of it still. So I used to sell mystery yeet boxes. Okay. So these were red boxes, and it said yeet right on the top of it and the front of it. It said yeet, and you open it up, you don't know what was going to be inside, but I had basically a little bit of everything. I had wristbands, tattoos, 8x10 pictures, keychains. It was just a little bit of candy. I had gummy worms, my squiggles that I love. So I had a little bit of everything in that mystery yeet box. So yeah. I almost forgot all about that, man. Damn, money.
Mystery yeet box. Man, that's wild. And
hey, don't say it too loud because Koloff might try to give one something like that now, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'll have to talk to my client about that. But Ray, on the real, my little brother by choice who died in February, you made an impact on his life. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
CJ Goodspeed. That's the name I ain't heard in a while. I didn't even know he was still alive. Just a stand-up guy. Yeah, Ray is. I'll give him that much. As a matter of fact, we were talking about the Great Southern Eight. I believe that the Great Southern Eight that I was at, I can't remember if it was 2019 but I believe it was you and Wes Warren in the finals that year. And I believe Wes Warren got his first Great Southern 8 championship that year. He
I
won the
think
tournament.
I think you're right. I think that Great Southern 8, did the bottom rope snap? Did it break?
Yes, it did. At the first of the show, the bottom rope snapped, and that was it. We didn't have a bottom rope for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good names on the card that night, and it came down to you and Wes. I even believe you took on Bristol Hale that night as well.
The opening round, the first match was me versus Bristol Hale. I'm like, wait, what's going on? I don't want to hit a lady, Yeah,
you didn't want it. Hey, that was your whole point. She kept slapping you at first, and you finally just said, "Oh well." And you kind of, I think what was it, like a sunset flipped her up, and
I gave her like a suplex, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I still ain't hit a lady. I gave her a suplex, but but yeah, definitely.
You and Bobby Fish need to run a match again.
No, we don't. Bobby Fish don't want any smoke. We don't need to run it back again.
Woody, we know you're going. You're always going. You're doing something all the time. CJ, all right, here we go. Let's get to Jason. What was your thoughts on working the Hideaway? Before you answer that, that place was phenomenal. That was a great wrestling venue. That was a made-for-TV venue. But go ahead.
Man, the Hideaway in Jackson, Mississippi. If you've never been there, go pull up Pro Wrestling Ego at the Hideaway on YouTube. I don't even think video does any justice, but this place was awesome. It was dark, but only the ring was lit up, and it had an intimate feel still. And maybe 200 people could probably fit in there max. And that atmosphere was just fire. I loved it. And we had the fog machines, and then it would kind of linger in the air during the match where the light was only hitting the ring. But the setup and everything was just amazing. It's probably one of my favorite venues that I've ever worked. I probably worked at some bigger venues that were probably nicer, but none of them come close to what the Hideaway felt like back in those days. We were running hot, man.
Oh, the Hideaway, it was phenomenal. Now I do want to ask you something.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the hard-hitting questions.
All right, well, this is a hard-hitting question. All right, and you remember when I booked you for a show back in 2021 at a meth house in Waynesboro, Mississippi, to take on Koloff for the first time?
Oh, you booked me for that?
Huh. Yeah. Remember, I was doing the CWL deal then.
Oh, okay. Yes. You asked Vladimir this on his when he went on live with you. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. What about it?
What was it like wrestling in a meth house? Because that place looked like one, didn't it?
Well, if you say it's a meth house, I believe you. I'm not gonna dispute you on that.
You know what I meant, though. But it was at the fairgrounds in Waynesboro. It was run down. It was
it was run down. And what I remember about it was kind of dark in there. It smelled a little bit, and then I saw there was like black plastic bags, I guess, across the wall.
It was that Bisqueen
wrapped all around.
Bisqueen all around the thing. Yeah,
it was weird, and not a lot of people were there. And I wrestled Koloff, I think, for the first time. Actually, Chris Carter was there.
Yes, he was.
Chris Carter, for those who don't know, he went on and I think he moved to Texas, and he's been doing great things in Texas. And I think he's been on GCW a few times now.
He's been in Japan
as well. Look at that, yeah.
And Mexico. I forgot he's not been long come back from Mexico.
Yeah, I think that guy, he got a death wish, man. He's trying to die in the ring, I think. And that's legit. That's legit. But this guy, he's just off the wall. He's insane. But yeah, that building was crazy. That building was something else.
Oh, CJ Goodspeed says you have hit a lady before.
Never that.
The one known as Lucha Lacora.
Two times because you ain't never lie.
Ray What's one piece of advice you'd give younger talents today coming up in and rising up in the business?
You know, that's a great question, and I would love to answer that. Um, Man, if I start rambling, just cut me off, man. But
Oh no, you go ahead. This is your show at this point.
I got asked this not too long, about 2 weeks ago, by Jesse Dragonheart. I'll get to him as well.
And he's
But,
we got to get to him. I got to talk
yeah,
about him too.
but some advice I give to young guys coming in, man, is learn as much as you can from anyone you can. Everyone's gonna have different advice. Everyone's gonna have different flavors of ice cream, and nobody's wrong. Wrestling is very, very subjective. Take everyone's advice and apply it to your own craft and what suits you and what fits you best. And get out there and grind and learn as much as you can, and take up as many, many, many seminars as you can. And you have to and put yourself in positions to win. What I mean by that is, if this, you can't get this opportunity if you don't put yourself in that spot to be seen to get that opportunity. If you stay in one spot where there is no opportunity, you won't get anything. Honest and another thing is, stop and smell the roses. This might not be for even new guys coming in. This is for guys who are veterans and who've been doing this for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You know, because I know before, when I first started wrestling, I would go to a town, wrestle, get back on a highway, and get back home. It was back and forth like clockwork. Now, within the last few years, I've actually been stopping everything I'm doing. If I go to New Orleans, I'm stopping at Bourbon Street. I'm getting some beignets. You know, if I'm in Orlando wrestling, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna see some family I haven't seen in years. You know, before my match. You know, I might go to Disney. I might go to Disney Springs or do this and do that. So I'm literally, if I'm going to a nice city, I'm stopping. I'm smelling the roses, and I'm taking advantage of that 6 hours or 4 or 5 hours that I got to be in the car. You know, so I'm not just going and coming right back home. But so, because you never know when this life could be taken away from you. I feel like we're blessed to be able to travel to state, city to city, to be able to do what we do for fun because we love it. You know, so if we was to stop wrestling tomorrow, what's to say you'll be in Chicago next month, or New Orleans, or Orlando, or Atlanta, Georgia? You know, all that might stop. So stop and smell the roses, enjoy life. Take it all in. We're not promised tomorrow. We're only gonna be here for a cup of coffee. You know, we're only wrestling. Some of us probably one time on weekends. So you might not see somebody for the next few months. So take it all in, enjoy the ride while you have it, and just soak it all up.
I'm gonna just say this, man. You took the words out of my mouth when you said that, man. Like, we're blessed to be able to do what we do,
Yeah, absolutely,
have the fun.
absolutely. Yeah,
I couldn't ask for anything better, man. Like, I try to live every moment like it's the last, because you never know when it's going to be the last.
yeah,
And anytime I'm asked, hey, man, you want to do the show? Yeah, why not? Because you never know how much fun you're going to have until you get there. And I just love it. But I do want to say this. You know my wife, and you know that you've seen her many, many times. You talk to her a lot, whatnot. And she's always been high on you, and she'll tell you exactly who she's high on. And the other night when we left, Saturday night when we left Combat Sports Pro in Biloxi, the Sanctuary, which, like I said, is a great venue, beautiful place, and Combat Sports Pro, very fun place to wrestle. But when I left there the other night, she said, I know he's young and he's got a lot to learn, but Jesse Dragonheart has got a lot of potential. And I think he can listen, and I think he can learn. And I looked at Jesse Dragonheart the other night, and kid's got a lot. And as long as he listens and he gets his way, I think he's got a lot to learn. But I think he's very keen on learning too. But he's one of these guys going to be high flying somewhere.
I I wanted to get to him sometime during this podcast, but yeah, Jesse Dragonheart. For those you don't know, yeah, he's been training with me the last few months, and I can't speak any highly about him as I already am, man. That guy, I love it. He got it. I think he's got something special there. And I never felt like this about anybody that I've ever been training with or anybody that I really came along and just gave even just a little bit of piece of advice with. But Jesse, man, he gets it. He's coachable. He learns fast. He's athletic. He has things that I don't even have to tell him to do. Like he just gets it. He got it. And when you watch him wrestle, you see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, like that guy, man, I'm putting my stamp on that guy right there. If you're not watching out for him now, you better get familiar with him quick, because he's coming and he's only 21, 22 years old. So, yeah, Jesse's that guy, man. He's that guy.
He is. He's young, got a great look, a lot of potential in this kid. A lot of potential. I didn't meet the kid until I think it was the Mississippi Rumble,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even booked on the show. He shows up just to help, help set up. He was there with a friend or whatever, and he got put on the show.
Yeah.
Never seen him. I mean, I've seen him. Let me rephrase that. I had seen him. I just not seen him in person. He had his match, and I'm like, not bad for the kid. And then the other night, when my wife talks about wrestling, when she starts talking about somebody's good, my ears open up because she knows what she's talking about. And Jesse is just absolutely phenomenal. And yes, you can see Jesse this weekend at MCW, as Chris Ricard says. I believe he's a champion at MCW. But here's my thing. There's Diego Rivers saying he's like one of these keyboard warriors. Yes, Jesse Dragonheart, says Rey Fury.
I just tagged him.
Diego is, Diego's one of those keyboard warriors like Walter the Worm. He don't have no balls to say something to your face, only behind your back. But Jesse, in my opinion, it's hard to find, and you'll agree. I think you'll agree with me. It's hard to find a lot of guys that are really coachable, that really listen, that really want to learn.
Yes.
And when you find that guy that does it and has the ability to do it, their potential is unlimited. And I think that, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover before you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jesse Dragonheart's going to prove a lot of people wrong over the next few years, because when my wife says somebody's got potential, I can already tell she knows. She knows. And that was the first thing that popped out of her head or her mouth the other night.
That's my boy, man. That's my boy. He's doing good, man. And I already became already overprotective with him, even though there's no need, there's no dangers. But I've been trying to look out for him, make sure that nobody messes with him, man. That's my guy. He's doing great, and he got what it takes, man. So yeah, for sure. Shout out to Jesse Dragonheart.
Yeah, shout out to Jesse Dragonheart. And here's my thing too, man. Like, and when you said you worked with him, you've been training him. Now I can see where it's coming in. So that makes a lot of sense. But you look around at a lot of guys on this coast. You look at a lot of guys because you wrestle Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. You've wrestled all over, man. I mean, who are some of the guys in our area that you would put, and whether you like them or not, give me 5 guys you think has that potential for that next level it factor deal, and who's made, like, who have you seen grow over the last few years? Like some of the guys that you've seen grow.
Okay, yeah. Who I've seen grow over the last few years definitely has been Wes Warren. From where
Wes
he
has grown
was,
a lot.
yeah, from where he was to where he is now. I feel like he's grown a lot, and physically as well. His his body has changed a lot as well. He's still a biscuit head as well. Wes Warren for sure is one of them. Definitely want to say Brooklyn Barrett.
Yes.
Gonna be a little bit biased because she does train with me as well. But Brooklyn, I think from when I first started training with her kind of to where she is now, I think she's night and day. I think she's way better. She's at combat, she was wrestling guys at this point, which is awesome. She can go with dudes. Brooklyn Barrett, Wes Warren. I'm gonna throw the diaper wearing, soil temple wearing Vladimir Kov in
Who?
there.
Who? I didn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Huh?
I couldn't hear you. What was that name?
Vladimir Kov. And I feel like he's been doing pretty well. From when I first met him, his gear has gotten better, his body has gotten better, and he puts a lot of time into everything else outside of wrestling, which is like the merch table and just content him putting online. So yeah, most definitely, yeah, especially for another mask guy as well. So that's also good to see because a lot of people don't know, but it's a tough job wearing a mask. All right. Anybody can't just put on a mask and be great. This is a whole different type of work rate, whole different type of monster that guys don't understand until they actually put it on. Then they can understand. But so anyone who's good with a mask with their vision impaired, I always tip my hat to them because I know what it feels like, especially wrestling at a high level as frequent as I do. Yeah, Wes Warren, Brooklyn Barrett, Koloff. Who else? I want to say Tony Donato as well. I'm going to shout out Tony Donato. From when I first met him, he had like this little Italian little kind of deal going on, but he looks like he's ready, man. He's moving up. He's gotten better gear.
Oh,
He's breaking out of that shell. He's got a new attitude. So Tony Donato is doing really well.
that's another one that my wife was talking about the other night. She's like, "Oh, he's got it too," and he does. He's got a good look, and that was the first time I had seen him in person as well. Tony Donato's got a great future ahead of him too. Just got to stay consistent, and he's probably got a few things in the works, I would say as well. So, yeah, continue on though. I didn't mean to interrupt you on that.
No, you're good, man. You're good. And the last one I'm gonna say is probably a guy that I haven't had a chance to mix it up with yet, and that's gonna be Simon Phillips.
Well, that's because you keep ducking him. I mean, what do you expect? You got Simon Phillips. All right, I'm gonna say this, Ray, and all jokes aside, Simon Phillips has a great look. He's got great ability in the ring, and just like you, Koloff, Wes, several others. I'm not trying to leave any names out. Jay Smiles, there's a lot of names you can mention. Braxton Hunter,
Jace.
a lot of names you can mention. There's not names that you can forget, but like Simon Phillips is one of those that needs to be on TV. Just like yourself, Vladimir Koloff, Jay Smiles, Braxton Hunter. You can, like I said, you can name on and on. And you and Simon have not had that one-on-one matchup. And I'll tell you this right now. I would love to see that. I would pay money to see it. I would take a night off from managing to buy a ticket to see that.
I think that needs to main event somewhere.
It ain't gonna. It's not gonna be the opening match. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put that as the opening match, you just screwed the fans.
Yeah, that needs to main event somewhere on somebody's show in front of a significant audience, and I think we need to just tear it down and see who the better man is. So I'm always open to competition.
And I can already say this, man. I'll just go ahead and tell you, Simon Phillips is going to be the better man.
You know how I know you lying? Because you ain't say it twice.
Oh, Eddie's stepped in here. This buffoon.
Hold on.
It took him this long to show up for the show, though.
Hold on. I know how to trigger him. I know how to trigger Eddie. Smelly Eddie Torres. I knew something stunk. I knew it smelled like some tuna fish in here. Eddie, July 20th, you got it coming, my boy. Big toe Eddie Torres and your girlfriend Erica Christopher. I hope you watch.
He did say on a post, how did that boot taste? How did it taste?
You know, there's something in wrestling called a receipt. And that boot did not taste too well. But, you know, I got a size 12 boot of my own that I got for him. And it's coming in hot July 20th. So he could keep running that mouth. I might make an early visit to Central Florida and see what's really going on. Since I already got to be there June 14th, since we're on the subject. June 14th, I'm battling the self-proclaimed #1 guy in the state of Florida, and that's August Artois. So August, he was ranked by some guy making up a list as #1 guy in Florida. And I thought it was a little laughable. But on behalf of myself,
Dave Meltzer, was it?
No, it sure wasn't. On behalf of myself and all my peers and all the other talent and all the talented guys in Florida and girls who hate August Artois, I'm gonna come down there to Pride of Wrestling, Pride Anniversary, biggest show of the year, and I'm gonna take his Florida Championship title, and I'm gonna put him on my knee, and I'm gonna spank him like the child that he is.
Now, Ray, can you read what Eddie just said?
Pro Wrestling Action. I'm going.
Oh, here we go. I'm going after all three of y'all. The belt is mine.
Again. Yeah, right.
Uncle Dave of Gulf Coast. All right. You know, you want to know about the tough questions. Now, I saw you post a picture on your Instagram yesterday, or your Instagram story, that said, you know, Jey Uso puts the yeet in pro wrestling. Do you know who made that sign?
I think I have an idea who made it. I'm not quite sure, though. You made that sign? Why would you make that sign?
Because I was trying to get under your skin so that my client could win, you know, the Combat Sports Pro Heavyweight Championship.
Big Belt Betty. That's her name.
Big Belt Betty.
She don't leave Zaddy Fury's side. All right. Understand that.
Apparently so. I've seen that.
She's actually coming to the gym with me tonight. I'll send a video and I'll put it on Facebook tomorrow so you can watch.
Hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get under your opponent's skin, CJ. That's all there is to it.
They also don't put the yeet in wrestling.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, man. You see, these are the hard-hitting questions that you're not asking, brilliant one. Thank you, Monty. Thank you. You know what? Get up off your seat and FaceTime Monty. Let's get Monty on here because he's had
Monty. Look. You know what? Hold on. You go ahead and name your Mount Rushmore because I'm just going to do this. If he is willing to do this, we'll get him on here right now. I'm just go ahead and
listen. I thought about this for a long time, and everybody's Mount Rushmore is subjective, but mine is going to start off with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan, but he needs to be on there. We got Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like him or not, you got to put him up there. I mean, really. And keep going, Ray, for just a second while I go see about this.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. You have to put Vince McMahon on there. And I'm going to say The Undertaker. Easily could have swapped one of them out with Macho Man, but he's too busy running that mouth. That's exactly what he's doing. He's not asking the hard-hitting questions. I thought I was going to get on here and I was going to answer all the hard-hitting questions, and I had him lined up and I was ready to go. But but he just flapping at the gums. He talking and swallowing spit. That's all he's doing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, CJ. Lucha Libre style or technical style. So to be honest with you, man, so when I broke in and I started learning wrestling, I thought I was gonna be a Dean Malenko, one of those guys, Chris Jericho, William Regal with that technical style because I love chain wrestling. I love submission holds. I thought I was going to be a technical wrestler. That's what I really like. And how do I say this the most politically correct way? I feel like it wasn't gonna do me any justice, so I kind of leaned the other way towards kind of something a little more fast paced, much more entertaining, like a lucha libre kind of style. So yeah.
I love Dean Malenko, Chris Chambers says. He only reads the comments. Oh, okay.
2 times because you ain't never lie. Softball interview.
You know what? Man. Feels like Vince is on a mountain of his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Let me just say this. When it comes to Vince McMahon.
You walked away, but I said my Mount Rushmore. I don't know if you heard me.
No, I didn't, because I had to go check on something. I'm trying to get somebody else to come in here for real quick. So
it was Austin, Hogan, Vince McMahon, The Undertaker. I think when you think of professional wrestling, those 4 is synonymous with that. And I think just for obvious reasons, that's the Mount Rushmore of wrestling right there. Not my Mount Rushmore, not my favorite guys, just
every show I've seen, 1 hour of just comments. Well, that's because there's 1 hour of comments. I can't help that. Okay? I can't help it that people want to ask the questions. They're making my job easy. I don't have to do as much work. Man, this show was much better when Brandon Turner CJ,
absolutely.
Go back to the nursing home, get you some bread pudding. This ain't the Rey Fury show. This is the British show. Love you, Pookie. Uh-oh. Ray, here's a hard question. What are your thoughts on Vince Russo, Ryback, Jonathan Coachman? Give me their criticism of today's product.
I mean, they're all entitled to their own opinion, honestly. But what are their opinions on today's product? I mean, I know there's a lot of opinions on it. What specifically are they talking about? Do you know?
I don't know what Ryback's or Coachman's is. I know what Russo's is, and Russo is more like they're letting the casual fan go, and they're not putting as much emphasis into story, which I think since McMahon left, and this is just my opinion, they've put a little bit more into the story, but you gotta broaden it a little bit more, and they'll get there with the way TKO is going with it. I think they'll get there, but Vince Russo is always going to be a little bit bitter with it. My thing is, I like Russo.
Yeah,
I don't think that his WCW run was. Whatever, but Russo's got a spot in wrestling. Okay. They were very bitter. Well, I mean, look at it this way, okay? So, and Ray, I think you'll agree with me on this too, is like the 90s and the 80s, and then you had the guys from the 70s criticizing the 80s. You had the guys from the 80s criticizing the 90s, and so forth. You know what I'm doing now.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, somebody's always going to criticize something. Yeah, if you grew up in the different era of it, you worked in the different era of it, you are right. Ryback is working on his new character. Oh, guess who we got, baby? Guess who we got? Oh, look who we got. Monty Morebucks, baby, in the house.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Monty?
Not much. Watching some LSU baseball and some Southern Miss baseball, hoping they take care of business, and then the king of the yeet on here just
All right, Jay,
had to get on and say, very few people, the first time you see them, they've got something. And Ray was one of those guys. And, Eagle Mania was a huge event for us every single year in Meridian. And he always headlined for us for a reason, because we knew he would bring it, and he would do all the things we asked him to do. And, when we would bring all the kids in, he was a magnet to those kids. And the one thing I'll say is a lot of guys can do moves and do great things. Ray can do all that. But what Ray has is a connection with the fans that, if you could bottle it, you would sell it and make $1 billion, because every wrestler would buy it. So just want to say, class act, always a pleasure to be around him and in the ring with him. And, everything he gets, he deserves. And one day, hopefully, the guy who actually is the yeet master will be making the money instead of the guy that stole his gimmick.
Man, I appreciate you.
Look at this. Look at this brilliant show right here, baby. We got Rey Fury on here. And then we got the legendary Monty Warbucks on there. How much better can it get right now? I mean, like
Chris, thank you, Monty. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I remember putting the 25-foot billboard in the middle of town. And the thing that sucks is COVID took away what I think would have been the biggest show we ever had.
And that was Steve Anthony, right?
Yeah, man. And, my wife at the time was the director of the surgical tech department at Meridian Community College. And she was very instrumental in deciding who was on the show. And one of the things she said is, we've got to get somebody that's at Ray's level or better. And there was the first name that came out, man, Steve Anthony. And I text Ray and I said, are you ready for this? Because it's going to be epic. And the billboard that never came out, I have the poster, I've sent it to Ray, was Steve in his gladiator get up and Ray on the other side of the poster. And in my mind, all I could see was that giant billboard in town and people driving by going, man, I got to see this. So, again,
and I saw the poster that, because you'd sent it to me.
Yeah.
And
it would have been great. And,
yeah.
Until this day, my favorite ever promo video for a match was the 4-way we had at the Hideaway with Ray and me and O'Shea Edwards and JD Jenkins. And I think I sent that to the Brilliant One on his messenger to see it. Jay did a great job with those videos. The Hideaway was a great venue. And Ray was the king of that place. So, I mean, I was always the antagonist. And anytime it was, one night me and Chris Phillips did a number on Ray and basically caused a riot in the Hideaway. People throwing chairs and bottles and crying babies. And, again, not to steal Ray's fury, but I just want to say, if you see what I did there, I just want to say, and I'm going to get off of this, Ray, when you started, we knew you had something special. You still have something special. And I think the greatest thing, I'm watching my 12-year-old walk behind the house right now. When she was growing up, she watched wrestling every weekend because she had to go with her dad. Yeah. And you were always her favorite, and you always treated her with respect and love like you do all the rest of your fans. Mm-hmm. And again, I hope nothing but the best for you in your future endeavors. Obviously, I hope one day we can get you in the SWA, because I think you would be huge for us, because you're not the norm of what we have. Our product is way more old school Southern wrestling, but you would definitely be a shock to the system for what these people are used to. But again, just want to say, man, congratulations on all you've accomplished. Your NWA stuff is great. All the stuff that you've done everywhere else is awesome. And I'm gonna get off of here, but I just want you to know.
Well, before you go,
yeah.
Monty, I want to say something. I want to say something to you, because you're right about Ray. And you talk about how great he is with fans and stuff, and how he treats people, and that's true. That's the reason that he is where he's at right now. It's because 100%. Of the way he does everything. But I got to say this, and I know this is not in the forecast, but you talk about your daughter being his biggest fan or whatnot. Your daughter's a great person, a great human being.
I appreciate
And
that.
and she helped somebody in my family really close who had went through a tough time when she first came there out of a shell, and we're always grateful for that as well, man. So
Well,
just want you to know that.
well, I appreciate that very much. She's super special. She's got a lot going on. She's fixing to be leaving the house and go play college volleyball at Southwest Mississippi, which we have a show there every year. So I'm sure I'll really embarrass her.
Reggie was on here last night just talking about it. So
Yeah, it's great, and we'd love to get Ray on one of those, man. Again, this is Ray's show, but I just want everybody out there to know that's watching. If you have the opportunity to buy a ticket to see Rey Fury, it's worth every single dime you're going to pay. And there is nobody in the business right now with your age and your years of experience that I think has a better shot to make $1 million a year, brother. And I hope you make every penny. And when you do, I know you'll remember all the guys that helped you. And I think you're doing everything you need to be doing. And just know that we're proud of you. And don't listen to Lucha Licore. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the flip side, man.
Thank you, Monty, for tuning in, man.
Take it easy.
I love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
And Monty, come on, man. What a surprise, man. What a surprise with Monty. One of your biggest supporters has always been behind your back, had you at the Eagle Manias, would have had you there with Steve Anthony, which would have been, God, phenomenal. But Monty, like I said, one of the great minds and has always had the belief in you. We need to get this video. It's at 29 likes. Get more likes on this because we're almost at 1,000 views right now, and we need to get it up a little bit more there. Shane Harris, I had the best seat in a Rey Fury match. Where was that seat? On the back of a chair the other night? But no, like literally, Ray, you've always had that respect. You've always had those people that have had your back, and Monty being one of them. Damn, Lucha Licore. When he slid down the stairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you've always had that, and it's just wild, man. It's wild how long and far you've come in the last 8 years. So, I mean,
yeah, man. Like, I remember before I even moved to the South and I was in New York, my biggest fear in life, I know this sounds stupid, as if there's not other things out there to be afraid of, but my biggest fear was just never getting a chance to wrestle. I was like, my biggest fear was living to be 50, 60 years old, old man in a wheelchair, never gracing a wrestling ring, not even trying, and that was my biggest fear. And fast forward now that I am here, I've been doing this for a few years, it's like, now the biggest fear is letting people down and not living up to whatever potential I think or other people may think that I have, so that shit right there will keep you up at night, and that's the dark side of business that a lot of people don't talk about and know about. I've been on the other end of phone calls with many guys in the business who just, it beats them up mentally, but yeah, that's one of my fears. So, but yeah, so it definitely feels good to hear that, especially just to be reminded sometimes, like I said, guys like that always keep me grounded. Remember where I started, where I came from. So yeah, thank you, Monty, for getting on there. Shit, it means a lot.
and Monty's a great guy. I mean, he really is. I remember 8 years ago, Kobe telling me, there's this guy training name redacted. You gotta see him. And maybe 6 months later, I saw Dark Fury versus, I think it was Vordell Walker. Oh God! So that was really one of your first matches was Vordell.
Oh man, I don't think it wasn't my first match, but it was within the first
early on in your career though.
Yeah, for a few months, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
How are you still alive? Been in the ring with Vordell, man.
I don't know. Shit, man. Yeah, but you the man. You the
Oh
man,
man,
man.
that's it. Rock and Roll Express. You've been in the room. I mean, you've been in the locker room with the Rock and Roll Express.
I missed the bus.
Um, Great guys. Let's see here. Let's see what else we got. But anyway, I do want to ask you something else.
Yeah.
That we've been going on because we've been going for almost 2 hours. We're just to start winding down. But
Jeez.
before we start getting out of here,
Yeah.
what are some of your biggest accomplishments over the last 8 years? I know that you've worked for so many promotions, some of the biggest promotions in Mississippi, biggest promotions in Georgia, Florida. What's some of your biggest moments that will always be there? Like I'm pretty sure the Hideaway is going to be one of them because you've already mentioned how much that was. Your Mount Rushmore of wrestling managers. Well, the Brilliant one's number one. That's always it, baby. That's Ray's number one Mount Rushmore of managers now. But seriously, give us your moments, and then you can give us your managers on that, like your top 2 or 3 moments.
Obviously at the Hideaway, when I first won my singles title, the Styles title, it was special because I had some of my boys that came and helped train me run out there and congratulate me. That was a special moment I'll never forget. Winning my first title for a company, the top championship of a company, which was at the Hideaway as well against Nightmare Jeremiah. That was something special. I actually froggy elbow through a table and just hearing that place just explode. I'll never forget that. Uh, and then, you know, I hate to get too personal, but I remember going through some personal things in my life and outside of wrestling, and being granted that opportunity to go to NWA and having all that in the back of my mind on the drive in the locker room, getting dressed, making my way to the ring, having all that weighing on the back of your mind, and still feel like putting an A+ effort out there, and that weekend will never leave my mind. That was something special for me. I'll never forget that. And then this here is probably for the young guys coming up. Goes back to that advice I gave earlier, which is when I got my first opportunity to go to AEW, the way it came was just a string of different events, and it all banks on just opportunities and putting yourself in a position to get that opportunity to get into another position. Like I try to tell the young guys, it was a Sunday show that I didn't have to take because I was already on the road Friday and Saturday. I was off for the Sunday gig. I was like, you know what? I could just go home or I could just take it. I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. Come on. I went to this Sunday gig. It was in Atlanta. Didn't know much about it. Come to find out, it was a TV taping in a beautiful arena where they do Mucha Lucha. Come to find out, the guy running it was Zicky Dice. I had no idea. All right.
He's a great guy, too, man.
Exactly. And this is all just stuff I'm learning as I'm pulling up. I'm like, oh, okay, Zicky Dice here. And then I meet one of the coordinators for backstage at AEW Talent Relations. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he says, hey, man, I know who you are. Would love to get you to come by. I'm like, awesome, So it's like, boom, boom, boom. All this stuff is happening. And I was going to stay home, But I put myself in that position to get this and then this and then this. And then come to find out, I main evented against Shane Mercer for the TV tapings. And we had an absolute banger, and I never got footage of it. He asked me for the footage. I don't have it. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get it as well. And then come to find out, then I, shortly after that, maybe, a month later, I did some Atlanta, TV tapings for AEW. And there's that. And I don't say that to toot my own horn. I just say that as an example for the young guys. Again, put yourself in those positions to get yourself in a position to win. If you don't take those opportunities, you won't even be able to look at for these opportunities. You understand what I'm saying? Don't stay in your comfort zone, So just me going on a limb, taking one thing led to something that led to something else that led to something else. And I use that as an example anytime I try to explain to anyone that you have to go out there and get it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, anytime you get an opportunity, you put in 110%. It don't matter, what you think about it. Just give that 110% on that opportunity because you never know where that opportunity can
Never
lead you to.
know. Yeah, you never know, man. Never know.
Ray, man, it's a pleasure as always. I even brought in Monty.
Yeah.
Always. Let me just say this about Monty. It's always great when you have Monty on anything because there is nobody that's more entertaining that can just talk the talk more than anybody. Monty is that guy, and I've always had just so much respect for him. Willie Buck, I will see you on June 20th at Combat Sports Pro Show. There, my buddy. But Ray, before we get out of here, man, like I said, you're a very marketable person. You market yourself very well. So I want to go ahead and let you have the floor and tell everybody where they can find you on social media. If you got merch, whatever you want to sell, the floor and the time is yours now.
Well, I'll let you know where you can find me in the month of June. We'll start off with that. This Friday, like I said, I will be at Bizarre Wrestling in Panama City, Florida for the Harley Davidson event. Then Saturday, the next day, I'll be in for Bayou Independent Wrestling. I'll be in Brookhaven, Mississippi. Sunday, I will be in River City WrestleCon where you can find me. I'll have my own set. I'll have my booth set up, and I will be wrestling that Sunday. It is my birthday weekend, so if you stop by, bring me an energy drink or some gummy worms. Highly appreciated. June 14th, I'll be in Tampa for Pride of Wrestling, biggest show of the year.
You see that name there? I had not seen that name in so long.
Pride of Wrestling?
No, this one in the comments right here. Rey
Oh.
Fury, Daddy Cardi B. JD, I saw you the other night at Lost Art. I hadn't seen you in forever. I hadn't heard the name in forever. I know you got to go through your spiel, and then I want you to talk about JD Jenkins.
Oh, I'm going to talk about him. Yeah, and then the next night, Sunday, June 15th, I'll be in Atlanta. June 9th, June 20th, Combat Sport Pro in Freeport, Florida. And then June 28th, at the end of the month, I'll be at TWA and Chalmette, Louisiana. Everybody can follow me on Facebook, Rey Fury, Instagram and Twitter, Rey Fury Official. Follow my subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading matches all month on there. Get your Rey Fury plush dolls. I got new t-shirts and Ain't No Way tank tops dropping very soon. And yeah. Drop some love 2 times because I ain't never lied. They took our yeet, but they can't take everything from us. We're gonna keep on moving, and there's more ways to make $1 million. Don't worry. The Fury train has not stopped.
Let's speak of the full-time beast, JD Jenkins. I know you got a special place in your heart for him.
Oh man, I love JD Jenkins.
So we got to get this out here. Let's talk about JD, baby.
JD Jenkins, man. I love JD Jenkins, man. I was there for most of his mixed martial arts fights. He's been there with me since day one, man. I was there when he first started training. And man, this is the guy who calls me just to roast me and then hangs up the phone. I mean, if I'm ever feeling myself too much, guys like this call me and keep me very humble. Let me tell you that. All right, I'll tell you, I get my daily hate mail. I get it from my best friends as well. All right, trust me, it comes from everywhere at all angles. But no, real talk, I love JD, man. Whenever he's ready to come back to wrestling, I'm gonna welcome him with open arms. But yeah, that's my dog, man. I love him.
Oh, JD's great, man. JD is the man. Steven Dixon said he smashed the worm. Well, who didn't smash the worm? I've heard a lot of people smash.
Hey, yo.
But anyway, Ray, thank you for coming on, man. We're gonna have to do this again.